Hey everyone, it's the Cinema Dude, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video takes us back into the movie room. First and foremost, happy Groundhog Day. 6 more weeks of winter. Great, especially up here in New York. We're getting kind of swamped with snow. First and foremost, I just want to kind of apologize on the kind of inconsistencies and irregularities of the videos. Try to get better, then kind of stuff got in the way. As John Lennon said, life is what happens while you're busy making plans. But to make that up, we'll have the video today, and then we'll have another video on Saturday as well. So I have a boatload of things to get to. A whole bunch of DVDs, some VHSs, some posters, and then a slew of books as well. So we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to go with the posters first. I got these, everything I got, either Savers, there is Goodwills, some online stuff, another just local thrift store, and then there was one that I think got one from the Dollar Tree haul. There's some other ones I have, but I didn't grab those ones. I think I put them away early. So first and foremost, I have this kind of picture of Clark Gable that I got from Savers, less than $2.99 because it was on sale. And it's just a photo from Gone with the Wind, and I really haven't figured out if it's a lobby card, like what it is. I think it's a reproduction. Really haven't found any information on it. But it's in a glass kind of frame, which is kind of cool. So something I could just kind of hang up in the movie room and stuff. So it was kind of cool to pick it up. They had some other ones of just other scenes, but again, no kind of information on those. But if you guys do know if this was from a set or what this was from, like was it a Gone with the Wind commemorative set or something like that, let me know. Comment below to kind of let me know what that is from. So that is that. Then I got at Goodwill, found this, and I was like, oh, I probably should pick it up. And I was like, yeah, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick it up. And it's a like half sheet for Alfred Hitchcock's Notorious, so it's kind of cool. There's a little kind of tear at the top, but nothing too bad. So kind of cool. I can just, it automatically has the little plastic thing, kind of like a giant plastic holder, like if you put baseball cards in and stuff. So again, just something I could just put on one of the shelves and let it rest there and stuff. So that was that. So for those that know me, know that I collect movies, of course. That's my channel. I also have a decent-sized record collection. I have some board games. But what I'm also trying to collect is a complete first run of Goosebumps books. When I was a kid, I had probably 10 of them and stuff. And then, over time, they get sold off or whatnot. Parents put them in a garage sale, and it is what it is. And then I just happened to get one. I forgot what I got it from. It was like the Camp Jelly Jam one, as like kind of a joke / like, oh, you're doing some, because I'm in the rec field, and I'm like the summer camp director, so I oversee all that, and it was kind of just like a little, gag gift or whatever, and I was like, this would be kind of cool to start collecting again, so, and to get like a full first run of them. So we went to Goodwill, me and my girlfriend, last week. Just happened to have one of those days where like just everything kind of falls into place or whatever, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Goodwill. I for some reason I was like, I'm having a good day. Let's just keep going. So went there, and lo and behold, it got better. So I went, of course, I went straight to the movies. And my girlfriend, she's a teacher, so she went to the book section, and she was just on the opposite side. She goes, Joe, you need to come here. And I was like, okay. So I go there, and lo and behold, there is a bunch of Goosebumps books. So I got about 12 or so. I got like 9 right here that I just kind of grabbed out of the pile or whatnot. And they're in really decent shape, actually. And they're first run ones, so I was like, cool. And just kind of kept knocking stuff off my list. So right now I have 36 of the 62. So a lot left I have is the back half. Excuse me. And those are kind of more expensive ones. I did find with Anthony, who was in the video in October, we had gone to a like town garage sale or whatever, and somebody was selling a run, and I was like, and they were like asking like $100 for it. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna do with, should have got it, because now knowing how more expensive the other ones are, it was gonna be a good investment and stuff. So I'll run through real quick what I got. Welcome to Dead House, the first book in the series. Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Let's Get Invisible. Deep Trouble. Attack of the Mutant. I always remember this one just because like it had a superhero on it, even though that guy's the super villain, so it's just kind of a cool cover. Phantom of the Auditorium. Another classic cover from the series. I feel like everybody knows like this cover. Along with like Say Cheese and Die and Haunted Mask and stuff like that. Careful What You Wish For. You Can't Scare Me. And The Haunted Mask 2. Which I love this one just because with the blue and orange, it just looks like really cool. Definitely gives that Halloween vibe to it. So excited because they are the first run. They have like the raised lettering and stuff, and because you can find some of the ones that are like the second run or the reprints and stuff like that, but to have a first run is kind of cool. So those were all the Goosebumps books I got. Then we'll go into some DVDs and Blu-rays. The only single Blu-ray I got, because I have 2 that I'm going to show you guys soon, was I Am Bruce Lee. This was from Big Lots. Was not $3 actually. They were having a sale, and this was like half off or $1.65 or something like that. So it was kind of cool. Just another Bruce Lee documentary, not on the Criterion set. So if you kind of are a Bruce Lee completist or whatever like this, you want to get this. This is actually a Shout release from 2012. Has a whole bunch of people. Kobe Bryant's in here. Mickey Rourke, Manny Pacquiao. Ed O'Neill. They talk with Shannon Lee. They talk with Dan Ennio Sato, who worked with him. And I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, please correct me in the comments, because I think I am saying that wrong. But so it just kind of goes through his life and stuff like that, and so kind of like his words along with like the people he influenced and stuff. So that is I Am Bruce Lee. So kind of cool. I saw this, I'm like, okay, is this part of the Criterion set? And then looked, and nope. So and then we go from one martial arts to another one, and this was one I found at Goodwill, and it's a picture that has Loli in it, which is kind of cool, and made around the same time that they did Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, and the Bruce. I think it's Bruce Lee Rises from the Grave. Whatever the Bruceploitation one is, that he pretty much fights like the underworld. It might not even be that one, but anyway. So this is pretty much Kung Fu versus Dracula, plain and simple. So really cool to find this release. Again, it's a budget release. It's but just kind of these budget releases, and a lot of martial arts films, especially from the 70s, are on multi-packs. They're on, those really, really thin ones. But you know what? That's the charm of them, to have them kind of in not the best quality, but something you could throw on a snowy or rainy Saturday and stuff. So, very cool. If you guys have seen this, comment below. Do you just like these kind of insane martial arts films? I definitely do. And kind of cool to add this one. I actually have seen this one. You know, nothing that's going to be world shattering, but it's definitely an enjoyable one. So that is Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. Then to go from one dead thing to another, and now with this, I'm going to have to get all of these because I love this show as a kid, and that is The Real Ghostbusters Volume 3. This has about 11 episodes in it, and some of them are Ghost Busted, Ragnarok and Roll, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Ghost, Banshee Bake a Cherry Pie. So some cool episodes on here. So used to love this show as a kid. We'll pop on one on YouTube from time to time to watch them. But very cool to add this. Then we have a Terrence Hill film directed by him, playing off his Trinity character, kind of. But it's based on a comic book character called Lucky Luke. And that is the film Lucky Luke. Doesn't really say a date when this was. When this was from. On the thing it has it as. It says 96, but I don't think that's correct. I think it's from the 70s. It's part of the Gold series, and if you open it inside, and the disc keeps falling out, which is not good. They have Voodoo, The Surgeon, so some like other kind of obscure kind of movies, but this one, if you guys have heard this, seen this, let me know in the comments. This one, I tried to find information and it kept giving me like the comic book series or other films, because it's almost like a film series that they had a bunch of that were like French films and stuff. So if you do, comment below. Let me know. Definitely will check this out. Falls, whether it's a spaghetti western or regular western, kind of cool to add to my collection. Then we have a Disney double pack. This one actually does have a release with the Disney Movie Club, but just finding this one in the wild was kind of cool. And that is the Davy Crockett 2-movie set. This has Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, and Davy Crockett and the River Pirates. So some 60s, late 60s, early 70s films. And also includes the Lone Chipmunks cartoon short. So it's always cool getting these like kind of Disney films from that period, their live action stuff. You know, you think of the Pete's Dragons and those kind of movies, but then there's like a whole just bunch of stuff that just like you keep finding, like, oh yeah, they have this, or oh yeah, stuff that Kurt Russell's in, young Kurt Russell, and just kind of some random stuff. So kind of cool to find another release like that. Then I have some documentary stuff. The first are 2 National Geographic releases. One I thought I had in my like special set that I got, but actually it's not in there. It's a different Egypt one, and so this one is Egypt: Secrets of the Pharaohs. There's a bonus program on here, Mummies of Gold. So kind of cool to add another documentary National Geographic one to my collection. And then 30 years of National Geographic specials. So kind of compilation of different stuff. There's a Best of Cameraman Who Dared, photo galleries, and things like that. So kind of cool to add those 2 to my collection. Then from the Dollar Tree Dollar DVD and Blu-ray sale, I got the ESPN Films Collection Volume 1. So this was part of their 30 for 30 series. And so there's 5 on here. Catching Hell, Charismatic, The Fab Five, Herschel, and Renee. I've seen Catching Hell, which is the one that talks about Steve Bartman and Bill Buckner. Charismatic is about the horse. And then Fab Five, Herschel. So I've seen Catching How, Fab Five, and Herschel. Charismatic and Renee, who is Renee is about Renee Richards, who battled to enter the 1977 U.S. Open as the first transgender tennis player. So seen 3 of the 5 here, but kind of cool. I have some other 30 for 30 ones, so kind of cool to add some more sports documentaries to my collection. Then we have one that I haven't seen before, which is kind of cool, and that's Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. It's the Something Fishy collection from 2009, and this has Vexicon, Pet Control, Shrimper, Snake Researcher, and Floating Fish Factory are the episodes on here. So, Dirty Jobs, an enjoyable show, but kind of cool to see one of these in the wild, you know. Again, you don't really see these kind of stuff, this or any Food Network stuff there that often. So when you do, it's kind of cool to pick them up. So that's Dirty Jobs. And then the last DVD one I got was, and I got this actually for pretty cheap, it's the Mill Creek Entertainment 50 movie pack of classic musicals. So, of course, 50 kind of public domain musicals. You know, they have stuff with Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, Duke Ellington. So kind of cool little set. You know, I like my 50 movie packs with all the westerns and exploitation and science fiction ones that I have. So kind of cool to add the martial arts ones to add another genre into that. So kind of cool. The only thing it doesn't have the usual book that goes with it, but that's okay. And then it has all of them in those things. So, you know, always kind of cool to get these. Again, they're not the best. But, you know, and this is early Mill Creek stuff, but it's still kind of cool to have that you can say, hey, I'm going to get this set. I'm going to take a dive into these kind of movies. You know, you might get 2 on the set that are going to be good. But you also might get, you know, 5 that you really enjoy. So that is the classic musicals one. So we will end up with 2 things. First, I will go right here, and I got 2 sets that I'm very excited that I got. One I wanted to grab because A, it was super cheap, and I have a feeling it's going to go out of print soon, and that was the American Horror Project Volume 2. This one has Dream No Evil, Dark August, and The Child. So these are the sets that Arrow puts out that has kind of just regional horror, kind of from the 70s. So kind of after Night of the Living Dead, kind of all that kind of regional stuff that kind of like fell through the cracks and stuff like that. So whole bunch of stuff on here. There's a book on here by Stephen Thrower, who did the Nightmare USA book. So really kind of cool. That's really the reason why I jumped at these, because they do have the book by Stephen Thrower. That's one thing about getting the Arrow limited editions. They're always going to come with a cool book. Also kind of the flip on that too, that's kind of a pain in the butt. Because I'm trying to get the Herschel Gordon Lewis one. And that one, it's just kind of ridiculous, the prices on that. But again, you got to, you know, for somebody that missed it the first time because I really wasn't into that stuff, to come back on it, it's a pain. So really now, it's really got to jump on it right when it comes out and stuff. So, but that is Horror Project Volume 2. And then, on top of that, I got Horror Project Volume 1. This was from Grindhouse Video, Tampa. This one, again, is also out of print. This one just came back in print in a single, like a standard one. But this one, again, has the book. This one has Malatesta's Carnival of Blood. So there's actually 2 Carnival of Bloods. I actually didn't realize this. I thought the Carnival of Blood, that Something Weird, put out was the one in here. It's not. It's different. And I was like, oh, okay, well, now I gotta get that. So, because at first that's what I thought it was. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that, so I don't need to get this. But yeah, it's a different Carnival Blood. The Witch Who Came from the Sea and the Premonition. Now, the thing with this is, this came on this because it was probably a damaged one. So at the bottom, I don't know if you can kind of see that they're kind of broke. So I have to find it, especially too because Arrow got rid of these cases. They are now going to the slim cases that are like in the William Graffet collection. So, but very cool to add both of these sets. Regional horror, 70s horror, and you know, that kind of exploitation stuff. Very cool to have these two. So I hope they do a volume 3. Supposedly they might be, through rumors, they might be doing a Bill Ray Bane, if that's how you pronounce it, collection, possibly this year. They did do, of course, they've done the William Graffet collection. So to have that one, that'd be kind of cool because there's some kind of cool stuff in there. So again, taking that dive into exploitation and stuff, Al Adamson and things like that. So those were the 2 big sets I wanted to show off. Comment below if you have these sets, if you you know, have seen the movies, like these stuff, want them. You know, keep an eye out for them and stuff. So, because I think they're really cool sets to have in your collection and stuff. So I'm excited to have them. And then finally, we're going to end up today with some VHSs. So we will go 2 that I got from a just a store, like kind of a thrift store, estate sale store, just right around the corner from my work. They had it, and I'm like, oh, you know, I just went in there with a coworker, and I was like, oh, okay, and really wasn't finding anything, and I found these. Now, both of these do have DVD releases, and actually one now has a Blu-ray release that they announced today from Warner Archive, but never seen these, and I looked online for them, and they're either not there at all, or they're expensive. So, the first one was this cool Journey of the Lost Planets. It's a Voltron Defenders of the Universe one. It's just a kind of a really awesome cover. This is from, it must be a Sony release, but it's from '84, and but just really, really cool. Yeah, World Events Productions, Sony Corporation of America, but just a really cool kind of, has that classic image of Voltron on it and stuff, but really cool. Again, Voltron has a DVD release. It has the complete, actually has both the, it has the Defender of the Universe one, and then the one where it's like the car one. I always forget what that one's called. And then again, another one that can't really find anything about this release, but Warner Archive today announced that they're going to put it, today or yesterday, they're going to put it on Blu-ray, and that's Thundar the Barbarian. Just kind of a really cool World Vision home release. It's a really kind of cool one. Again, something I got super cheap, so it's not like, oh, you know, I spent a whole bunch of money on this, and now, you know, it's on Blu-ray or whatever. No, got this, it was like, again, I think 99 cents or something like that for both of those. So, really cool to have these ones, and just kind of cool cover art and stuff. So, those were those 2. And then, finally, we have 2 martial arts ones, and then a horror one. And these ones are ones that are not on any release. It's just VHS. So, the first one is Bronson Lee Champion. So another Bruceploitation kind of film. This one, of course, stars Bronson Lee. This one they took, it's something karate. I forgot what the first one is, but they took that and pretty much just made that into Bronson Lee Champion. But really cool release from Warner Home Video. But they took that movie and then just kind of put it into this. It says Bronson Lee is a Japanese American raised by his grandma in the harsh, poverty-stricken desert Southwest. But Bronson Lee has a dream to return to Japan and demonstrate his mastery of karate by winning the Grand International Champion scheduled to determine the first world karate champion. He's good enough and he's fast enough, but is he man enough to stand up under an assault that goes far beyond the bounds of tournament competition and threatens his own life? Bronson Lee Champion is a fast-paced, wild action thriller that pits one lone man against an army of enemies determined first to stop him from competing in the contest and finally out to destroy him. So, kind of cool. Like I said, another Bruceploitation film. This one, again, not on, just like Bruce Lee, We Will Miss You, that I have. This one that isn't on any releases and stuff. So, very cool. Especially, too, because it is a Warner home video release. So you would think they put on something, but, yep, for some reason, hasn't been on. Then we have a Galaxy video release of The Pacific Connection. So, another film that does not have a release. And, again, another, I want to say this is late 70s, early 80s. This might be 1980, to be honest. It's very much just a revenge film. Just there's a massacre among the peasants of South America, and pretty much goes from there. So, kind of cool. This one also has Dean Stockwell in it. But again, something you don't find very often. So, when I saw it, I was like, you know what? Pick it up. And then finally, this is actually one that I saw at, there is actually a video store left on the other side of town, and went there and found this. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's a Christopher Lee movie that I, never seen before, and it was like, okay, lady had the box. I'm like, okay, perfect. She had the box, she has everything. Didn't have the movie, so she just had the box. I'm like, and there was a few movies like that she had the box, but she didn't have the movie. Or she would have the movie, but not have the box. So she had one, she had Elves, which I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'd love to have Elves. Horror, not the best horror movie, but I was like, they'd be kind of cool to have. But she didn't have the box. And it was in this, like, ugly brown, like, case that people would just take out and put it in and stuff. So, but this one is The Keeper, and I'm going to say this is early 80s, I would say. But Christopher Lee is in it. It says, Christopher Lee, the master of the macabre, takes you and his patients to the brink of insanity. A strange and foreboding secret surrounds the patients and their keeper at Underwood Asylum. 40 of the wealthiest families have entrusted their mentally disturbed relatives to the keep of the keeper's care, yet they never seem to live to see them cured. So just kind of really cool. Again, it's one of those films that doesn't have a release, but kind of cool to have that. So, but guys, that is my whole collection, a little under half hour. So, thank you for staying with me. Again, I do appreciate you guys watching the videos and stuff, and I hope you have enjoyed this one of kind of my pickups. Like I said, we'll have a second video this week on Saturday, but again, comment below. Any of this stuff have you seen? Any of this stuff do you want? Is there any, obscure VHSs you've picked up, or stuff that you have in your collection that isn't on DVD or Blu-ray and only on VHS? Are you big Goosebumps fans? Do you have some Goosebumps books? Have you picked up anything from the Dollar Tree haul? Have you picked anything up from Goodwill? Are you big Arrow video fans and have these releases? So again, comment below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Instagram at the underscore cinema underscore dude. Again, I hope everyone is doing well. And remember, everyone, be kind and rewind. We'll see you guys on Saturday.